Hi guys, I'm Rakisha Tenoy and I'm back with another video. This is very spur of the moment. I don't have any notes, so I'm just coming from the heart. I wanted to talk about your standards and lowering them, or lack of them I should say, and compromise. Now, a lot of things have been going on and I've been hearing a lot of things from a lot of different friends about guys and just like their life in general, and I just wanted to speak to you guys about compromising your values and your goals. V in my LOVE. V stands for vow to honor yourself, and I feel like if you're compromising, you're not vowing to honor yourself, you're honoring someone else, and if that someone else is not God or what the Bible has lined up for your life, then that's not okay. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are not honoring themselves. They're pushing themselves past the limits they said they'd ever push, and they're just doing things that they said they'd never do. And unfortunately, a lot of the times the things that they're pushing themselves to do, it's because of a guy or a friend that's like peer pressuring them. Especially, I know being Christian can be hard, because if you have friends that aren't saved, or they're Christian but they just go to church on Sunday and like that's as far as it is, it's very hard. I know it can be very difficult, like, oh, you're too churchy, oh, you think you're too good, you used to do this with me and now you don't, you're too cool to do that. And I get it, but don't compromise yourself just to be cool or to still hang out with your friends. Not to get all crazy on you, but at the end, when Jesus returns, they're not going to be standing there next to you. God's going to be questioning you, not them. I'm getting off subject and I don't want to scare anyone. So back to what I was saying about compromise. Compromise is compromise. If you set a value or a goal or a standard for yourself, like I'm not having sex until I'm married, and you fall in love with someone and the guy's like, oh baby, I love you, and you know, you're beautiful and you're perfect, and he's just like in your ear telling you everything you want to hear, like you're the prettiest girl, you're gorgeous. And I understand that because my love language is words of affirmation. So the best way to ever get to me is like trying to hype me up, but I'm not stupid. So I get it. Sometimes we do fall into that trap, but if you know that you set yourself some standards, and just because some guy is telling you, I love you, or you're beautiful, or you're the only girl that's ever been for me, you know, yada, 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 don't believe it. Because if he really did love you, he would respect the boundaries that you set. He wouldn't pressure you to have sex, or he wouldn't say things like, oh, well, let's just do oral instead, because it's not the same. Sex is sex. And I'm gonna have a video on that soon too. But sex is sex. If the word sex is in it, it's sex. Anyhow, so, or even if like a guy is like, oh, well, send me pictures then. If you know you shouldn't be sending pictures, and you know, if you put it this way, if you can't do it in front of God, if God was standing right next to you and you couldn't do it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. So if you know you can send a picture of yourself just like smiling, no one's gonna care, then you're good. If you know if you're sending a risque picture with, you know, your shirt coming off a little bit, then, and you know like, you probably shouldn't do it. If your dad accidentally picked up your phone and read your conversation, or read or saw your text messaging or your pictures that you're sending back and forth, if someone looked at it and you were like, oh shoot, my dad has my phone, if you have to think that, then you're probably not discussing something that you should be discussing or sending back and forth. And with compromising, it's not even just with guys, honestly. It can be friends. Like it can be one of your girlfriends that's like, hey, let's drink, or let's smoke, or get high, or whatever drugs are out there. Let's do this. I don't know what people do now, but whatever drugs are out there. If you know you don't want to do this drug and your friend is telling you, hey, let's go do it because it's cool, don't do it. That is you compromising. We set goals and standards for ourselves for a reason, and with that reason, you want to keep yourself at that level, because once you make these barriers or these boundaries and you keep basically going over them or lowering your standards, eventually anything will go. So at first your standard is no sex till marriage, right? Then you meet this guy and you guys are all in love. He's your first boyfriend. He's super cute, has a nice body, he has a car, he has a job, like everything you want to hear at 15. And then decides like, oh, well, you know, he loves me, so it's okay if I sleep with him. Or better yet, it's okay if I just do oral sex with him. So then you're out doing that. So then you guys break up, then your next boyfriend, oh, well, it's okay, I've already done oral with this one guy, so it's not a problem. I might as well do it with this guy. And then the next guy, and so on and so forth. Eventually, you're going to lower your standards and you're not even gonna have one. You're gonna be like, oh, well, it was just sex, whatever. And that's not okay. That's not the plan God has for us. So just remember, like when you're going in and you're debating if you should do a certain something. You guys remember those bracelets? Well, probably not, but they were bracelets that everyone used to wear, and it's WWJD, which was what would Jesus do? Honestly, think that in your head. Like, okay, would my mom, would my dad, would Jesus be happy if they knew I was doing this right now? And if the answer is no, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And I get it. We all do stupid stuff. We all sneak in the movies or take food in the movies or I don't know, whatever. But there are just certain things where, you know, once you go down that slippery slope, there's usually no turning back. So I just want you guys to be careful out there. And who cares if someone thinks like, oh, you're too cool, you think you're too good to do this with me. If that person feels that way, then they're probably not your friend anyway. If they're going to trip on you because you don't want to lower your standards or your values or something that you believe in. If you believe in something sacred, then that's probably someone you don't need to be hanging out with anyway. So what I am doing, I'm writing a list of the things that are my standards and my non-negotiable things that I will never compromise. So I challenge you guys to write a list too. Just make a fun list. Do it with your girlfriends. It could be fun. You guys just make a list and write down the things that you know you don't want to do, you know you'll never do. For example, the first thing I thought of on mine was drugs. I will never do a drug. I never have and I never will. And that's important to me. Maybe write a list with your girlfriends and see if you guys come up with the same stuff. It could be fun to help keep each other accountable, because if you're doing this with one of your good girlfriends and your girlfriend sees you going with the wrong person, they can easily be like, hey, remember that list we wrote and we said we weren't going to be doing that? You're doing that. And, you know, just help keep your friends in check. But anywho, I just wanted to jump on here really quickly. I did not have any notes written down. I honestly wanted to just say that really quickly and let you guys know that you are worth more and you should value yourself more, because anyone who's telling you to do something that you don't want to do is not valuing you, and that person is very selfish and that person is only thinking of themselves. And you don't want to be with someone or around someone, meaning a girlfriend, you don't want to be with anyone that's just thinking of themselves, because in the end you want someone that's caring and thinks of you. And if they're trying to force you or peer pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do, it's not a good look for you anyway. So I am done. I'm out. I think this video was like 5 minutes, but whatever. I just wanted to hop on really quickly because it's been a while and just say that. If you guys have any topics that you ever want to hear me talk about, just leave it down below in the comment section and I would try my best to do it. I'm actually doing a video on purity, so if you have any questions, on my website where I'm going to be posting this as well, you can leave your comments anonymously and I will be answering them for you very quickly. I'm really excited to do that video. Scared, but excited. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you can, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Bye.